Did you know that earning a black belt is no easy task? It takes years of dedication and discipline. According to an article entitled "The Odds of Earning a Black Belt in a Martial Arts Class," which was written by the Japanese Martial Arts Center and published on their website, JapaneseMartialArtsCenter.com, and was last accessed on March 15 of 2020, only 3 to 5% of martial arts students across the globe go on to earn their black belts. Back when I trained in karate, I saw many students earn their black belts and others leave the dojo not even a month into their training. Today, I will discuss the requirements I had to meet in order to earn my black belt. I will also provide background on the belt ranks prior to black, the requirements and practices within the curriculum, and the types of tests I had to take in order to advance. Now, let me bring up the fact that there is more than one style of karate in the world today. There's too many to discuss right now, but each style varies the way that they take on tests, belt, ranks, and so forth. So the style I trained in, which is Shorin-ryu, is the style I'll be talking about today. So now let's move on into the ranks prior to black and the requirements with each. There are 10 belts that I needed to achieve first, starting with white and ending with brown. In addition to calling belts by their respective colors, we would also call them by Q, which is spelled K-Y-U. Q stands or signifies a student's rank or belt. So for example, if a student was a white belt, then they'd be called a 10th Q, or if they were a red belt, then they'd be called a 9th Q, and so on. Each belt, I was required to learn 2 striking techniques, such as a punch or a kick, along with a self-defense technique, and 2 sets of what we call change body. Change body is a partner drill, in which one student must throw a punch, and the other partner must be able to deflect the punch using a specific blocking technique, such as double bone block, while also stepping outside the punch to avoid being hit. Now let's move on to the requirements I needed to meet once I reached brown belt. At my dojo, there are 3 different colored brown belts that I must work my way through, the first being a light brown, and the third being a darker brown. Each belt, I was expected to learn 1 kata. A kata, which is spelled K-A-T-A, is a set of martial arts movements featuring techniques in which a student can practice the skills that they know so far on their own in a fun way. Each kata have their own unique names. So for example, the first kata I learned, which was called Fuku Kata Ich, is translated to Fundamental Kata 1 from Japanese to English. Wansu, the third kata I learned, is uniquely named after the martial artist who created it. Besides learning the empty hand katas, we would also learn katas with the staff, which is an Okinawan weapon. These staff katas would also have unique names, such as Bo Shodan and Bo Nidon, meaning staff first step and staff second step respectively. Each kata contain very fluid movements that blend well together and lasts for typically 30 seconds. Did you know that bow in Japanese translates to staff? So if you ever want to talk about the bow or the staff, just don't combine the 2 words together, because if you do, then you will be saying staff. Keeping in mind the striking and defense techniques, along with the kata I mentioned earlier, let's now dig into my last requirements. The last things I'd be graded on for my black belt test were leading my own 25 basics drill, creating my own self-defense technique, and forming my own kick combination. 25 basics is a drill in which an instructor calls out a Japanese technique name, and students must be able to translate what they said and demonstrate the technique. So for example, if the instructor calls out Maegari, students must be able to demonstrate a front kick. So once I reach my 3rd brown belt, I must be able to demonstrate that the fact that I memorized each Japanese technique name and lead my own 25 basics drill with the students testing that day for the belt test. For my own self-defense technique, I must create a new defense move that is 100% new to the dojo and still applicable. So while I can still have the same starting attack, I must be able to demonstrate the whole new self-defense move to the satisfaction of my instructors. For my kick combination, I must create have at least 3 kicks that are different from one another and move very fluid with one another. So for example, the kicks I did were spinning kicks, so I moved in a continuous circle. At last, now that you know all the requirements, I now want to move on to the different tests that I take, which were stripe tests and belt tests. Stripe tests act as a preparation for the belt tests, in which instructors grade us on our technique so far, and if we earn 4 stripes, hence the name stripe test, then we will be allowed to attend the next belt test. At these belt tests, which usually last a lot longer, maybe a couple hours, the students must go through every technique there is in the book, from white belt to whoever's the higher rank that day. And besides the techniques, we also include sparring. Sparring is a practice in martial arts where 2 students can exchange light blows with one another to practice their fighting skills. If I demonstrate all these techniques and sparring to the satisfaction of my instructors, then I will be allowed to earn my black belt. Today, you have learned the requirements and tests I had to take in order to earn my black belt. As you can see, it was not that easy, and there's a lot of work that went into training. As my head instructor always said, the difference between a white belt and a black belt is practice. Although I stopped training due to work and school, I still remember much of what I know. And I hope to continue training again sometime in the future, as I miss karate and I hope to do it again soon. Thank you.